What's going on, YouTube? This is Dave's Daily Trades, where we cover daily AMC technical analysis, price predictions, and of course, bring you the latest greatest news. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Cynic, the first domino to officially fall. We're also going to be going over the GameStop report that did come out. Of course, overall, it was a shitty report, but there actually was some good things that came out of it. We're going to discuss exactly what I mean by that. We're also going to be taking a look and of course, just going over some past data that we have been covering on this channel about the May run-up and how it is very similar to where we currently sit. And lastly, we'll take a look at the options flow for today, make some predictions, and go over the data. But without further ado, we're going to jump right into the intro and then hop right into the AMC technical analysis. And we're back. All right, everyone. So AMC today, we're going to break down exactly what happened throughout the day. So to start off, we actually had a great start to the day, starting our bullish run all the way to the high at $41.75. We did come close to hitting this resistance over here, drawn at $41.79. And once we zoom out, that will make a little bit more sense. But on the big news, we did have the drop just about midday. But the biggest thing is we did recover, grinding up for the last 1/3 of the trading day and then ironing out throughout after hours. But the biggest thing that I do want to discuss is we held this area all day. We did not fall below that $40 level, which is great to see. And it looks like our low of the day was just about at $40.30. And we can call this a double bottom right here at $40.35 roughly. That is exactly what I like to see, apes. It means that apes were busy buying today, even though that all or a lot of our buy orders were routed through the dark pool for a second day in a row. But of course, guys, it doesn't matter because we are making moves in the right direction. Now, I do want to just break down the 1 hour chart because I believe that this is really significant here. So what I have is, this is not the Fibonacci retracement, but this is just a trend line drawn over here at $41.80, which seems to be at like a very large level of resistance for us right now. As you can see, we have tested this trend line quite a bit in the past couple of months and have only been able to break out of this for 1-2 days before grinding back down. So this is really the level that I'm watching over the next couple of days. And breaking out and holding this level would absolutely be key. And of course, a retest of this area right around $43 to $44 is exactly what I want to see next. Of course, implied volatility is extremely low right now, meaning that we are very comfortable, and we as an AMC is very comfortable at these levels of $40. And especially having an IV close or around 0% means that they have not been this comfortable for the past year. And of course, we know where we're at last year. We were at just about $2, which of course is crazy, guys. 1 year, we're talking about a $39 gain, which is freaking huge. And implied volatility is not changing at all, which is wonderful. That's absolutely bullish. And of course, when we jump into the options data, that will make a lot more sense. So one thing I did note is we are starting to this upward moving trend line here. Started in after hours yesterday. Of course, I do always say take after hours with a grain of salt, but we are starting this healthy move up, and especially after this dip down. Now, looking at the MACD, we have corrected, come back down to neutral territory, which is wonderful to see, especially after the past couple of days when we have had that really nice price action. So seeing the MACD come back down into that neutral territory means that, yes, we absolutely are going to start this grind up back into the positive territory on the MACD. Also for RSI, we were floating around this overbought region for a couple of days in a row. Now that we're back down and touched that 30 level on the RSI, we're starting this trend up, which is wonderful. Now, of course, my typical rule of thumb for RSI is anything over 50 is bullish, below 50 is bearish. So it looks like right now we are flattening out right around 45.79, But tomorrow, I would like to see this start to trend higher into this 50-60 range. So that's exactly what I'm looking for. Of course, if we talk about worst case scenarios for AMC going in tomorrow, I would say worst case is a retest of this $40.16 range, which we may see very early in pre-market or just in opening bell. Of course, the first 1 to 10 minutes of opening bell is usually very volatile, where we do like to have those dips down and then decide to shoot up and move higher throughout the day. Best case scenario is we hold this trend line into and throughout the entire day and start making retest again at that $41 and call it 75 cents range. That's exactly what I like to see. If we do break above this range, I would say an immediate retest of this area right here would absolutely be possible, and especially when you do have MACD in the negative territory, RSI sitting very low, it does look like we are primed for some big moves going into tomorrow. But of course, we'll keep an eye on it and see what happens. Now, I do want to take a brief look and just show you guys, and whoopsies, my stock's corrected. We're just going to go here, go to the 1 day. I want to just make some comparisons here, because we have been following this trend line in this wedge-shaped pattern for literally months on end. We have not broken out, nor have we gone below this trend line, which is great. Absolutely fantastic. But what I do want to show you briefly is this past trend line. I know it's been quite some time since I've actually pulled this up, but look at this, guys. We were bouncing around this range for quite some time. Exactly took, 4 or 5 months to actually make moves out of this, which is totally fine. Now, once we did break out of this range, which of course I highly, highly believe that AMC is going to break out to the upside once we do find our way out of this wedge-shaped pattern that we're seeing up here. Once we did break out, we had a retest of this line here at 1210 and absolutely shot up once we did retest that. Now, of course, we're in a very similar boat and really just weeks away from breaking out of this wedge-shaped pattern. Currently, I have it sitting at 1116, but of course, as we saw over here, it didn't take the full wedge-shaped pattern to break out. We actually broke out a few days earlier instead of consolidating for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trading days. So that means we could easily be breaking out somewhere around here. Now, this retest of this level here at $40 and call it 15 cents, this hold into tomorrow is absolutely huge. Means that we're probably not going down any lower than this level. We may consolidate around this phase, around this range rather, and then start to tail whip up and break out of this range. That's exactly what I'm predicting. I believe we're going to have maybe 1, 2, and then really start this upward trend out of this line, retest somewhere around that $51 area, come down, bounce off of it, and then absolutely go parabolic. So we are so close, guys. Everything's coming together, and I am just so freaking excited. And if you guys are excited for this, as you should be, leave a comment, leave those gorillas, leave the diamond hands, because that gets me so freaking jacked. But anyways, enough with the charts. Doesn't matter. Whatever happens, my conviction for AMC is higher every single day, guys. We'll continue to watch this and see how this plays out. But like I mentioned earlier, the first domino to officially fall is a developer named Cynic, and they have defaulted. Of course, I thought Evergrande was going to be the first to default here, and that was going to cause a big storm. But of course, like always, those smaller funds do default because they are just don't have the capital like Evergrande does. Now, the big thing is, this is the first of many, in my opinion. I believe that a lot of Chinese real estate companies are going to be defaulting in the next couple of weeks. And of course, Evergrande currently has missed payments. They are really behind. And I wish I could provide you guys with more details on Evergrande, but they have done the poorest job ever of keeping their investors, their country, and of course, people who are just interested involved with any news or any updates on any of this stuff. However, the big thing is they are set to officially default this Saturday. So we are literally days away from Evergrande defaulting. Now, of course, this is huge. There's a lot of consequences that come from Evergrande defaulting. Now, of course, they do own real estate over here in the United States. Of course they do. We have investors such as BlackRock and various other firms that do have exposure to Evergrande. And if it's not Evergrande, it's to the real estate market of China. And of course, these are two firms. That's what we have to keep in mind here. There are many other real estate companies out there that are bleeding just as bad as Cynic and Evergrande, but of course, they're just not important enough and don't make it to the headlines for us to actually see it. So this, my friend, is really the start of the beginning, and there's so much more to come out of it. But of course, once I get the scoop, I'll be sure to keep you guys in the loop and let you know what's going on with this. Now, I hope you all watch this article, and if you haven't yet, I'm going to link it in the description, and your homework is to literally just watch this because this is freaking awesome. Anyways, I'll play a little bit of it, actually.
From the report says,
just listen to this.
The media characterized trading in GameStop as an act of rebellion intended to humble short-selling professional investors who had allegedly targeted the stock. What part of 130% of the float being shorted at GameStop is alleged?
I don't know exactly what her name is, but she absolutely destroyed this interview. She is an ape, and oh my god, I freaking watched this like 5 times last night, dying laughing. This man down here, absolute idiot. He's your stereotypical ape right here, smooth brain, no wrinkles, absolutely clueless or paid to look like an idiot on Fox News. But anyways, this is all relating back to the GameStop report that came out. Now, of course, I read through it. I was disappointed as everyone because throws out some allegations, sure, doesn't really confirm nor deny anything, and then doesn't really talk about what's to come next. Of course, there are flaws in the system. We know this better than anyone, but they kind of just published this report. It was like, all right, we have to write this up because retail's bitching. There's other people bitching. Let's just throw it out there, but we're probably not going to do anything about it. And that's really the gist that I got from reading all this stuff. And of course, from Gary Gensler and everyone. It's bullshit. It really didn't do much. And of course, I expected it to be like that because the SEC, the DTCC, all these regulatory bodies are in bed with all these hedge funds, and they really don't care about retail investors. But that's to change. Now, what this did was it really created concern and discussion around this topic, which really has primarily been in focus for us apes and us retail investors that literally see this kind of shit happening every single day. Now, when we get the media to talk about this, when we get Fox News, Charles Payne, and other apes on these media networks to start talking about it, to start backing us, and to actually be like, wow, these apes aren't stupid. They're actually really smart people who found a really big, glaring issue out there and are absolutely taking advantage of it. I mean, GameStop with 130% short interest. I mean, come on now. Like, my little cousins who are like 15 years old can tell you that just mathematically doesn't make sense. Now, these people who are trying to defend it, saying it's totally normal, all that stuff, I don't know what they're on. I really wish I could because, you know, some days are stressful. I could probably use some of the shit that they're taking. But regardless, guys, this is just the media attention that we want for people to start recognizing what exactly is going on with the market. And we are, I believe it's 5 days away. And I'm going to have to do the math here real quick because this is going to bother me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, I was right. 5 days away from the biggest pay-per-view event, SEC for Citadel Securities, with the D limit order. And of course, on my video that I posted on Monday, I believe Monday, I post too much to actually remember half the shit and when I post it. We talked about that D limit order and how this could really change the game for us as retail, but also severely hurt Citadel Securities because they're losing a very easy way to drive the stock down and also a way that they're making so much freaking money on. So this getting pushed, I really believe that this is actually going to be pushed. I hope it was. But, of course, we'll see what happens next week, and we'll see how that conversation goes. But absolutely, I will be tuning in to watch all of this stuff. Now, of course, as you guys know... Oh my god, that was so loud, and it scared the crap out of me. But... Anyways, we have been covering this for literally a couple of weeks, comparing how early to late May is really where we're currently sitting at right now. And this video, I'm going to mute it because it was so freaking loud, it scared me, is exactly, like, look at this. I'm going to try to pause it right at the end. Look at this. This is so similar. I mean, literally almost to the T, this matches up. And especially where we're at right now, somewhere over here, it is spot on. This consolidation that we're getting at this level, it looks like, of course, you guys know what comes next. This massive run up. That's what I'm thinking. That's what we've been talking about. And this just really I love pictures. I'm a visual person, but this just absolutely makes sense of where we're going. And if you guys haven't seen this, definitely take it out. I'll link this video in the description below. Now, last thing I just want to briefly cover is options data that came in for today. Now, all in all, mixed option data, especially on a somewhat negative day. We're only slightly up for the day, but I would say just about a 50-50 split. Nothing peculiar, I guess you could say, about today. And we'll just jump into, just to check out what's going on here, check on the volume for AMC call options. So, of course, AMC, because of the low implied volatility, that call data coming in is very bullish. We have 64.7% on the bull side and only 35.3% on the put side. So this is wonderful to see. Open interest as of yesterday, 2.1 million. Calls, 1.2 mil. And puts actually have decreased just about 40,000 now to 860,000 shares. So one thing is seeing a decrease on the put side, very bullish. That means that a lot of these whales are actually selling their puts, getting out of their position because they do believe that AMC is about to move to the upside. And calls have been steady right around that $1.2 million range. But, of course, just looking at the volume, seeing that the bullish sentiment is there for AMC right around a very important time for where we currently stand is absolutely great. And that is the conviction, guys, that we need to really just estimate and predict what's going to happen for tomorrow. And of course, I might want to say consolidation around this range, maybe early in the morning, maybe a dip down, totally fine. But I believe we are going to start this trend to this range right here at $43.35 and really take a shot at breaking out of this candle and going absolutely ballistic. But guys, of course, we will see what happens tomorrow and for the next couple of days. But leading to a very exciting weekend with Evergrande potentially defaulting on Saturday, and then Monday bringing us right to that pay-per-view event, Citadel Securities versus the SEC. Big things coming, guys. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more content. Peace out, and tune in for the next one.